we weren't enamored with it. We just sort of gave it that working title. But after a number of months of working on the show we called Prank Puppets, we liked it, and it fit the show. And then the Comedy Central lawyer said we couldn't use Prank Puppets.
Well, it's also a good chew toy to throw into the network execs room while you're trying to get the show done.
Right.
You go, you know what? We're not really sure what the title. Go, and they just and while you're actually making funny shows.
Do they not want the word prank in the title?
I don't know. It was one of the more epic arguments I've probably ever had with a group of people on the phone. All I remember is Jimmy and I were in his room in New York. We must have been doing, if you think about it, Max Zapata, you think about the timing of it. I'm trying to think of what me and Jimmy were doing in New York. Me and Jimmy were probably in New York doing the Hugh Hefner roast about the same time we were trying to work out the Crank Yankers with Comedy Central. So I would assume that the Hugh Hefner roast, which was after 9/11, a couple of weeks, I'm guessing Crank Yankers probably came out the next year or something in that. I don't know what we were doing in New York, but I was in his hotel room, and we had the Comedy Central people and like their attorneys on the speakerphone, like next to Jimmy's bed. And I was just yelling at them the entire time. That's all I remember.
That's actually a great combination of gigs because a lot of your acerbic roast material can be used on the network execs.
Yeah, Crank Yankers was
the material.
Sorry, Hugh Hefner roast was at the end, had to be toward the end of 2001. Toward the, I don't know, it was probably in...
A couple months after 9/11.
Yeah, so after 9/11. So it was toward the end of one, and then Crank Yankers came out in June, so says Chris, of 2002. So we're probably discussing, we got to put up billboards and get merch printed up and show titles and everything. So we're probably getting into it about then. And they just said Prank Puppets was too dangerous, too risky from a litigation standpoint because it implied malice and we'd get sued by somebody we called. And I couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure out why Prank and Puppet was a title that crossed the line according to their attorneys, and I was going nuts on them. But that'll drive you crazy. Screaming into phone conversations. I've had many showbiz related conversations where I was more confused than I was angered. Like I eventually turned to anger, but I still to this day, you say to 1,000 people, when I tell people this story, they go, "But what's wrong with Prank Puppets?" And I go, "I don't. Nobody knows. No one could ever explain it. They couldn't explain it, but they still did." The part that made me go from I went to full. I went from Sam Kinison to full Vavoom. Vavoom was a character from a cartoon I used to watch when I was a kid. If you look up Vavoom, and it was this guy who's like his power was yelling.
Oh my God!
He would just come in and go Vavoom, and all of a sudden there'd be an avalanche. Vavoom. I went to full Vavoom into the speakerphone.
I've never heard of Vavoom.
He was
hilarious.
By the way, Jimmy's like, you got to calm down. And Jimmy's usually, I'm the good cop.
Oh wow!
He'd be bad cop. Oh yeah.
Come on.
It's
not
nice.
America's Jimmy Kimmel.
That's a nice role.
Oh no. This is the other Jimmy Kimmel, and they'd have like
this is chubby guy named Jimmy Kimmel.
Italian Jimmy Kimmel.
Sports Jimmy the sports guy.
They'd all the execs were middle-aged females, and it'd be like
Lauren Correo.
It'd be like Debbie Liebling on the phone, and Debbie
Liebling. Yeah.
Debbie Liebling is on the phone, and she'd be like, "Done with Jimmy, done with Daniel, tired of those two assholes." And then Daniel would go like, Adam, talk to her. Pick up the phone. And I'd pick up the phone. "Hey, Debbie, how you doing? How are the kids?" "Yeah, good." "How's your husband?" "Hey, he's doing Alan's doing some great directing for us over here." All right, so anyway, there's that joke where the two women are walking on the beach and they're talking about douche, and she says garbage barge, and I know, but let me see if we can really break that one down. I just finesse her because she kind of
impressive.
You were the nice one?
I was the nice one.
That's impressive.
I was going to I don't know. Maybe I always did appeal when I was in high school. The chicks I liked never liked me, but their moms did.
Oh, so
I had great mom appeal.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a little of that mom appeal when I was 34 that was cutting through some of it, Kimmel and Kelsen, they don't have mom appeal.
No.
I like
maybe now.
I like Beth Ringwald when I was 17. Beth Ringwald didn't like me, but Adele Ringwald, her mom, did. Like I could be like, what's wrong with him?
Well,
no way.
They could smell working man off you.
Yeah,
He's a guy who's worked for a living.
Maybe that was it.
I can deal with him.
And if they baked, and like Adele would bake a pie, I'd eat the whole pie. She'd just serve me up the pie. More milk, thank you.
Yes,
and she'd be like,
please.
my husband doesn't even like, he's crazy. He's a crazy
What a
man.
fool.
Who wouldn't enjoy your pie? Maybe it's just me consuming baked goods that won her over.
Nothing wrong with that. Whatever works.
I'd have to be the good cop, and then I went nuts. I went full Vavoom because at some point, can we hear Vavoom? It was with Felix the cat.
That's right.
Vavoom! No! Run this way! Vavoom!
Creates an avalanche.
Wow.
A rock slide.
You just keep yelling Vavoom.
Wow.
He built a dam by yelling Vavoom.
That cartoon sucks.
The entertainment, we used to have to...
There's a reason why Gina and I haven't heard about this.
Yeah,
It didn't stand the test of time.
Lost to history.
I've never brought it up in my life. I just thought about watching Felix the Cat, which I didn't like, but I remember there's a character called Vavoom, and he just yelled Vavoom.
Very hard phrase to put any manliness into.
Yeah.
Vavoom.
Yeah, that's like zhuzh.
Yes. It's a strip club name.
I went,
Vavoom.
so when I went
Vicky
full
Vavoom
on the speakerphone is when at some point the lawyers
Vavoom. The Vavoom room.
Yeah. They always pull this move where it drives me nuts. It's also insulting where they do the lawyer. He goes, when I heard prank puppets, I was nervous. I got to tell you, but I walked it up the hall to talk to Herb Eastman. He about fell out of his chair. And I was like, you fucking lie. You're such a liar. You're such a liar. Herbert Eastman, if he does exist, did not fucking fall out of his chair when you told him prank puppets. No fucking way. Like, that's fucking insulting. You never did that. I don't know if that guy exists. And if he fucking fell out of his chair because you said prank puppet, he's a fucking pussy. And I just went,
I
went full Vavoom. I went
Vavoom. Yeah.
And I told them I was going Vavoom, and they had no idea what that reference was. All right, Gina. Crank Yankers is
it's back.
It's back.
That's great.
Yeah, it is.
Sponsored by Pinocchio's, Nevada's only all puppet brothel.
Oh wow,
Pinocchio's. And you're doing voices, yes? This season?
Yeah, we have a little video that we'll throw up at AdamCarolla.com. I realize they video them now, and you can watch the call being made as well as the actual acting out with like a split.
Oh, that's cool.
They did a split screen, so I'll just show you 30 seconds of it. It's me just sitting and doing my character acting it out. What's the best for weight control?
For weight control? That is a good question.
I told her, like, if peanut butter's good if you want to give your cat an antibiotic or to rub on your areolas, but it's not good to ingest.
Right. I mean, not in super large quantities, no, because it is a super high fat content.
You guys do golden beets?
We don't have golden beets. I know we have, like, some beetroot powder.
Yeah, I made a beet powder smoothie, and about 10 hours later, I was on the pot doing my business. Looked down. Looked like Rosemary's Baby in that toilet. Now, that's happened to the best of us, right?
Yeah.
Right. So here's my little invention, and this could make you a real hit at the Whole Foods. It's a beat, but it's a split screen where it's kind of entertaining to watch the actual call being made.
Every episode's going to be like that, or this is a promo?
No, I think it's like a promo.
They post a few on YouTube,
I
so
love
they definitely put Adam's up. But it's really fun to watch because you can just see Adam cracking up and having to be quiet about it.
That's smart. That's a really smart idea to do a little bit of an insert screen.
Yeah. The downside of it is now I got to put gel in my hair before I go call
That's
people.
true.
Yeah, get all
I got to
gussy.
gel up. I was just
Yeah.
wearing sweat jacket and I had the Brillo hair. Now I got to put the gel on.
Can't walk in
Gotta
in
look
the
good.
Jimmy
right.
J.J. Walker Dynamite T-shirt.
Well, and that's what was fun about last year about Clusterfest when we went up to San Francisco for that comedy festival. And they had that giant Crank Yankers big promotional thing right in the center of the whole festival. And it was all phone booths and different types of phones. You just pick them up and listen in on all the calls. It was a great idea.
That's great.
It was fun.
I'm glad. Look, I'll take it. It was gone for 15 years or 8. I mean, not 15. I don't know, 13. It was gone, and it's not like we ever campaigned to bring it back or anything. It's very
People have spoken.
Stuff we did was gone, and people just wanted it back. I guess.
Plus,
Comedy Central
I think
did
they have
survey.
a little. Yeah, they have a little new blood at Comedy Central in the executive end that I think said, you know what? If we look at the analytics, maybe we should put two shows like, I don't know, Daniel Tosh and Crank Acres did really well for us.
Bundle them.
Yeah, bundle them, put them back on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like football coaching, you know what I mean? It's like for so many years it was based on hunch or like, this seems to work. This is conventional wisdom. This is what everyone does. And I
Take
was
a
like,
shot.
hey, let's look at the numbers. Let's look and see what really makes sense on first down.
I think they put something out, and they just went, not Crank Yankers, hey, Comedy Central fans, what show do you guys wish was back on? And they just went, we wish Crank Yankers was back on.
That's
so there they go.
That's great. Well, Jason Statham has quit the action comedy The Man from Toronto. That was co-starring Kevin Hart, and this happened just weeks before production is to begin. This is according to Deadline. Statham wanted the flick to have an R rating, but the studio wants a PG-13 since it's a holiday release. Sony Pictures hopes to replace him while holding on to Hart. Deadline also says Statham quit his talent agency WME over this following this abrupt departure. In the movie, Statham was supposed to play the world's deadliest assassin, who's somehow mistaken for Hart's character, described as New York's biggest screw up.
Yeah.
Do you guys see Spy with Melissa McCarthy?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a movie that shouldn't have been good. That was very funny.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
fun.
With
agree.
Jason Statham. That's the reason I thought of it.
Totally funny.
But to all of this over the rating, like is it a street
I've,
cred
Probably
thing?
some other stuff going
Yeah.
on.
It
That's
sounds
what
like
they're
some
telling
bargaining
us.
going on
Yeah.
there, yeah.
My
That's
inside
two of clubs covering an ace.
sources.
That's what that is.
My inside sources tell me he's a pain in the ass to deal with.
Statham?
Yes,
He's always a bad boy.
They're guys that are notoriously easy,
Yeah.
and it's not all about the stature. I mean, you hear about. We all know the easy ones, and like a guy like The Rock, that guy's just totally easy, totally pro. Statham, more of a handful.
Okay.
Plus, I'm smelling. You got to understand, if you're in a movie like that, that is a Kevin Hart movie.
Right.
That's why it's
right.
going to be PG-13. That's why Kevin's getting more of this. Kevin's getting more of that. Kevin's going
Right.
to get more attention. Kevin's going to be. If you're not willing to stand next to Kevin Hart on a red carpet and be the straight man,
Right.
Be Bud Abbott, you're screwed.
He probably, there's some dispute over, a placement of the names or on the
Yeah.
poster, you know what I mean? There's
Well,
probably some.
Not
Yeah.
that he's not probably working right now and has no time, but I wonder if they would kick in The Rock instead if they need that.
Well,
kind
then
of
it becomes
guy.
a different, right?
Yeah,
Different
well,
situation.
then it's a different situation. But they've also worked together a couple
Yeah,
of
that's
times
a-
now
yeah.
and done really well.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, we'll
so
see.
they might plug that in, or they could plug in Jeff Cesario.
That's
I
right.
heard.
Sure, of course.
I heard they might plug him in.
Yeah, the world's
Have you
most
seen
wanted
his abs
assassin
lately?
or whatever. Yeah,
Who loves you, baby?
cut glass
Telly Savalas and Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I mean,
together again for the first time.
Telly must have died in 19.
I think
90 something.
it was early
5 or
90s, I think.
Didn't we have his daughter
94.
on as a guest a few years ago?
Yeah.
What year did he die?
He died in 94, and yes, we have had his daughter on as a guest, Ariana.
Lori Loughlin's
Oh,
chances.
she's a singer, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Her chances of skating in the college admission scandal have gotten much better, and I'm sure Garrigus knows all of this and probably predicted it. According to People magazine, quote, explosive evidence has come to light that could help exonerate her and her husband. Attorney Sean Berkowitz.
There's never going to be any victory because she's out $500K
Right.
for the USC. She's out another $1.2 million in legal fees, and her kid's going to Valley College now. So where's the win?
And is she going to be re-embraced by like Lifetime or whatever those,
Full House.
Hallmark, whatever?
Yeah.
I'm saying she was like a staple of those Hallmark
Right.
movies.
And speaking of reembraced, how about reimbursed? Like this SC get to hammer that check? Like,
Yeah.
are
And
they
the
giving
daughters dropped out.
Yeah, they don't go there anymore.
And they dropped out.
When you said skating, I thought they were shifting their major to skating.
From crew team to
Yeah,
skating.
from crew team
By
to
the
skating. There's
way-
a couple of